The little boy stood on the side of the dusty road, trembling, his cheeks streaked with tears and dirt. His clothes were torn, and his eyes wide, terrified, searched every passing car that ignored him. When the group of bikers stopped, their engines rumbling like thunder, he didn't run. He just whispered, almost too softly to hear, "They took my sister." Every man there went still. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you re-watching from. I love knowing who is listening. They were called the Iron Wolves, a rough-looking motorcycle group known more for their noise than their heroism. But that day, something in the boy's trembling voice cut through their tough exteriors like a knife through steel. Their leader, Jackson, crouched down to the boy's level. "Who took her kid?" he asked, his tone low but steady. The boy's lip quivered. "A black van, near the old mill road. They said they'd bring her back, but they didn't." For a second, no one spoke. The air hung heavy, the sound of cicadas buzzing through the heat. Then Jackson rose, his jaw tightening. "Mount up," he said. The engines roared to life in unison, shaking the ground beneath them. The boy watched, eyes wide, as 10 men on black motorcycles turned toward the old road, without hesitation, without plan, without fear. As they tore down the highway, the wind whipped through Jackson's hair, but his thoughts were anchored on one thing: a little girl scared and alone. He'd seen too much in his life, the things men were capable of when they thought no one would come for the weak. Not today, he told himself. Not while he was breathing. The road to the old mill grew narrower, surrounded by thick woods that swallowed sound. The sun dipped low, painting the trees in gold. And then they saw it, the faint tire marks leading off the main path. They followed the tracks until the woods opened up into a clearing. And there it was, an abandoned warehouse, its windows shattered, its walls tattooed with graffiti. Jackson slowed his bike, signaling the others to stop. The air smelled of oil and rust. And something else. Fear. They dismounted quietly, their boots crunching on gravel. Jackson motioned for silence. Then, from inside the warehouse, came the faintest sound, a child crying. It was enough. Ow. Without a word, the bikers moved like a wave. One kicked the door open. The sound echoed like a gunshot. Inside, 2 men froze mid-motion, one holding a camera, the other grabbing the terrified girl by the arm. The first punch came before words. Jackson's fist met the nearest man's jaw, sending him crashing into the wall. Another biker lunged forward, tackling the second man. The room erupted in chaos, shouts, curses, the clatter of metal. But within seconds, it was over. The little girl was safe. Jackson knelt beside her, his rough hands trembling as he untied the ropes around her wrists. "It's okay, sweetheart," he said softly, his voice cracking. "You're safe now." She didn't speak, just buried her face in his jacket and sobbed. Outside, the sun had slipped behind the trees, and blue light filled the clearing. The bikers stood in silence as police sirens wailed in the distance. One of them called it in, leaving the part they played unsaid. They didn't care for recognition. They cared that she was breathing. When the squad cars arrived, Jackson walked the girl to the edge of the road where her brother waited. The moment she saw him, she ran, small feet pounding the dirt, and threw her arms around his neck. They clung to each other like the world had disappeared. A single tear rolled down Jackson's face, hidden behind his beard. He turned away before anyone could see. An officer approached him. "You found them?" he asked, eyeing the group warily. Jackson shrugged. "We were just passing by." The officer nodded, recognizing the lie for what it was, the kind that protects, not hides. As the police led the kidnappers away, the boy ran up to Jackson and pressed a small trinket into his hand, a broken keychain shaped like a motorcycle. "It's from my dad," he said. "Used to ride too. Thank you for helping us." Jackson looked at it for a long time before tucking it into his vest pocket. "Keep your sister close, kid," he said. "The world's full of people who don't wait a second." That night, the Iron Wolves rode back under a dark sky filled with stars. No one spoke. The wind carried the silence, the kind that follows something bigger than words. Later, at a gas stop, one of the bikers broke the stillness. "I think anyone will ever know what we did today." Jackson smiled faintly. "Doesn't matter," he said. "They know." And somewhere on a quiet road, two children slept safely because a gang of men society feared. Didn't he hesitate to act when it mattered most? Because courage doesn't ask for permission, it just rides. And sometimes heroes don't wear badges or uniforms. They wear leather and carry hearts that beat louder than their engines. So, if this story moved you, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with someone who needs to be reminded. Real heroes still exist, and they never wait a second when someone needs saving.